All those 14-hour work days, road rage, red-eye flights. If you feel like you're more stressed than ever before, it's not your imagination. Recent studies show stress is the #1 factor contributing to 85% of diseases today. Dr. Jim LaValle is a board-certified nutritionist and clinical pharmacist. He's also been a nutrition correspondent for ESPN. He joins us this morning to talk more about stress management. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Now, let's go over a few simple questions. First of all, to know if you're stressed, do you crave the sweets, the carbs, the salty foods? Why do we go for that chocolate or those carbs at the end of a hard day at work?
Actually, what it is your brain heats up during the day and it's supposed to cool off at night. And when your brain can't cool down enough, what's going to happen is it's going to ask for comfort foods to actually stimulate the chemicals in your brain that help you to cool off. That's why people will eat those comfort foods a lot of times past the point when they're full.
So it's not a good thing, though.
No, not a good thing. Right, exactly.
Instead, work out.
Well, I would say, work out. You have to understand that when you're under chronic stress, you're going to get these shifts in your chemistry. And if you identify those, you can take steps to limit that. And that means less weight gain, less risk of diabetes, less risk of heart disease.
And before we even get home from the hard day at work, when we start off in the morning, we need that 2-3 cups of coffee through the day. That's another question here on how stressed you are.
Well, I think absolutely. I think a lot of people end up putting caffeine sprinkles on top of their coffee nowadays. Everybody's relying on caffeine in order to try to push themselves through their day. By the end of the day, they find themselves foggy-headed. A lot of people complaining of short-term memory loss at our institute in their 30s and 40s. When you're using caffeine consistently, alters blood pressure and certainly isn't going to help you to gain consistent energy.
And for loved ones around you or friends, a common one that they could tell you is common sense if you snap quickly with them.
So many people report to us that they just have this feeling of feeling so guilty that they have these kind of uncontrollable snap or short attitude towards their children or their loved ones, and they really feel bad about it, but they don't seem to be able to control it. That's a sign that stress is starting to really take over and you're releasing too many of those fight or flight chemicals in your body.
Tell us about these relationship killers that will cause you to lose your health over the next 10 years.
Big 3 things. Can't overdo the caffeine. When you drink excessive amounts of caffeine, you're going to literally wear out your body's ability to create energy. Secondly, it could lead to problems like hypertension. Get off the refined sugars. If you're really pushing, eating a lot of sweets, stress eating, it's going to lead to increasing your belly fat. That belly fat's associated with the development of Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. So you want to limit those refined sugars as best you can. Third thing is get 7 hours of sleep a night. Studies show that when you get less than 7 hours of sleep a night, it's going to alter a lot of the mechanics of your immune system, and also you're going to gain weight.
I've got a mom sitting next to me with a baby saying, how do you do that? 7 hours, I'd love that.
Well, you know what? It's very interesting because we have a lot of mothers that come to us. It's not about, a lot of times you can't change your circumstances in your life, but what you can do is maybe take something to fool your body into thinking maybe it's not so stressed. I tell everybody, take a good multivitamin. I brought an example. There's a lot of different multivitamins on the market with vitamin B and C. The other thing, Relora or theanine, compounds that help your body to calm yourself down so it doesn't think it's so stressed out.
Jim, real quick before you go, what
Sure.
can bosses do? We're stressed out, we need help. Well, how about those bosses out there, these companies?
Well, I think they just need to make employees work harder so they fall asleep earlier at night. No, kidding. I think bosses need to understand that employees can only be pushed so far. They need to recognize when an employee is frustrated. Get stress reduction programs in place in the workplace. Incredibly important for people.
It benefits them too in the long term. We're
Right.
more productive and happier.
Absolutely.
Dr. Jim LaValle, thank you very much. A lot to consider.